It's a decisive 4 days in the IPL. Double headers on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and results that could define how the teams might end the group stage of the tournament. This is ESPNcricinfo Match Day T20. We'll be looking ahead to Kolkata against Delhi. That's the first game of the two on Friday, and it will be it comes as Kolkata, who've actually won 2 on the trot. Delhi have lost 3. They find themselves in a bit of a rut. And Ajit Agarkar has played for both those teams. He's with me here today. Sanjay Bangar also with me. Gentlemen, let's look ahead to that game. Match day, match point number 1 for this contest is about a batsman who started this tournament so well. Delhi rely heavily on him. His name is Sanju Samson. He's the opening bat for Delhi, and we are going to discuss whether he struggles in the middle overs. Now remember, Delhi relies so heavily on some of the young Indian batsmen that it's important to analyze how the season of individually how the season for some of them has gone. We've spoken of Karun Nair. It's time to speak of Samson. Just look at some numbers quickly, Ajit and Sanjay. Strike rate of 156 in the power play, and that withers out as the field goes back. Balls per boundary to a huge difference, finds it harder to get the boundary, and dismissed more trying to go for the big shot after the power play. So it begs the question, Ajit Agarkar, I'll start with you. Sanju Samson promoted to open the batting after his 100 against Bangalore earlier in the tournament. What can be attributed to the struggle of batsmen who's otherwise pretty good in the power play and things just go flat after? 45 seconds for you.
I mean, clearly in the power plays he hits the gaps well, so should ideally do that when the field spreads to get rotate the strike. I think anyway Delhi have struggled with the batting, so maybe puts a little bit of pressure on the guy who's in form. Hard to put a finger, because if you've started so well, it should actually be easier to rotate strike. Maybe that's the challenge he has. Even in the 100 that he got, he smashed 40-50 no time towards the end. I think he got stuck in the middle. It's something that he needs to sort out, because Delhi again, like most seasons, relies so heavily on one batter, because the other Indian batters haven't yet put their hand up. So look, the thing is, if he does fall into that rut, as long as he goes on and makes up for it, it doesn't affect the team so much. But the day he doesn't, then that gets shown up a little bit more.
Sanjay Bangar, young player, been asked to promote, not too much experience in and around him, and a change of opening partners. How do we best identify Sanju Samson's role for Delhi? 45 seconds for you.
I think he's more suited at the top of the order. That's where he gets a lot of runs, and more so because his scoring area is very strong between the mid-wicket region. And what happens is, usually with a new ball, is there are hardly 3 fielders protecting that side, so he can find his gaps. And when the bowlers are on the wider side, he uses the area behind point pretty well. After that, definitely bowlers are bowling much straighter. They have a lot of protection on the onside, and the width factor goes away. So that could also be one of the reasons which he needs to work on in tandem with somebody like Rahul Dravid to get his strike rotation better in the middle overs.
Alright, you have lots of time to spare. Well done, Sanjay Bangar.
I've taken up his time.
But 45 seconds in intact. So we've discussed Sanju Samson, and we'll have to see how he goes against a good pace bowling attack that the Kolkata Knight Riders have. Let's take match day, match point number 2, and we are talking about the 2 captains now as they face off. I'm not sure they'll be. Gautam Gambhir is smiling, so we'll stop the press for that. But we're looking at the Gambhir versus Zaheer battle. Recently engaged Zaheer Khan takes on an always charged and emotionally engaged Gautam Gambhir. 106 runs, gents, 76 balls. 6 times that Zaheer has got the better of his ex-India teammate, and a strike rate of 140. So it's not bad on the striker, but he does get out often. Ajit, Zaheer Khan is good against most left-handers. Gautam Gambhir is in good form in the IPL. How do we see that little face-off in this fixture? 45 seconds to you.
Obviously, anytime a new ball bowler bowls against the opening batsman, it's a key face-off. 2 very successful players, so makes it even more important. Gambhir, again, like most seasons, is in really good form in the IPL. So, look, I think for some reason, I feel the left-armers maybe sort of reduce the width that he gets naturally of right-arm bowlers. Even if there's an outswing bowler, right-armer, it's not that easy to keep consistently bringing the ball back in, while left-arm with his angle can do that, and Zach's pretty good at doing that, where he takes the ball away from the right-hander into the left-hander. So that's probably one of the reasons. And when you don't give easy runs away initially, the batsman tries and has to do something in T20 cricket, where again Zach's consistency helps. So it'll be a key battle, because Gambhir's hit some really good form.
Yeah, well, he's also the second most destructive opener for Kolkata with the way that Sunil Narayan is gone, but it should be fascinating when Zaheer bowls to him. We've got some more numbers on Gautam Gambhir. It's about how he goes against left arm pacers and right arm pacers. Sanjay, if we are to focus on it, Strike rate significantly different from the right arm pacers. Of course, we must be aware that there are far more right arm seamers in the tournament than left arm seamers. But dot ball percentage much higher against the left armers. Anything about Gautam Gambhir technically that you can illustrate those numbers to? 45 seconds for you, Sanjay Bangar.
Generally, what it does is that somebody like a Zahir, or even then, there aren't really too many quick, fast bowlers operating with the left arm style. So generally, what the medium pacers do is that they throw their lengths up to somebody like a Gautam, and Gautam with his open stance is generally looking to play the horizontal bat shots. Even yesterday, you saw how he played the cut shot to good effect, going over point, and also playing the pull shot pretty well. So anybody who is pitching the ball up and is not as pacey will always have Gautam Gambhir struggling for runs.
Again, plenty of time to spare, astutely put.
Should I talk a bit more?
No. Less is more, always. Let's look at the two teams now as we ask Sanjay Bangar and Ajit Agarkar to pick their 11s for this game between Kolkata and Delhi. Remember, opposite ends of the form table. Kolkata very much top of the tree, Delhi in the bottom half. Let's take Sanjay Bangar's Kolkata 11, and they've decided that they are going to start rotating a little bit. So Nathan Coulter-Nile had missed out last game, as did Surya Kumar Yadav. I see both of them are likely to be back in your team, Sanjay. You've tossed it up between either Coulter-Nile, who was man of the match at Eden Gardens in the last game against Bangalore, or Trent Bolt. And right back in comes Surya Kumar Yadav. 45 seconds for you to take me through why you've picked that team, Sanjay.
I think it's a strategy on part of KKR team management to play a lot of spinners against if there is if the opposition is heavy with overseas batsmen. But here Delhi Daredevils a lot of Indian batsmen, and that's where they would probably try and attack them with the overseas quicks, and hence the reason for me getting back Coulter-Nile in place of Bravo. And as far as spinners goes, because Bravo goes out, they need to have some muscle lower down in the batting order, and hence drop Piyush Chawla and get back Surya Kumar Yadav.
The toss-up between Coulter-Nile and Bolt, you wouldn't mind either?
Well, it all depends on the fitness. He was rested in the previous game, whether he would continue to be rested for a longer period, and also give Trent Bolt a game. But I don't think Gambhir would be keen on doing that. He wants KKR at the top of the order, top of the table pretty soon, and that's why I think he would go for an informed Coulter-Nile.
I just asked him to go on a little bit so that we could be on the 45 seconds.
It's such a good squad that they have. Whoever they rotate doesn't really take too much out of their team. Must be a good advantage to have as captain.
Can we say the same about Delhi Daredevils and their squad? Can they afford to rotate? They would do it. They were the chief rotators of last year, and it didn't work well for them. Ajit Agarkar's made a couple of changes from the team that lost to Mumbai. Shahbaz Nadeem has come in, so there's no place for Aditya Tare. You've also put that a toss-up between either Nadeem or Ankit Bhavne. Ajit, I'll ask you to explain that in a second. And interestingly, you've gone for Angelo Matthews, so it's just the one game for Kagiso Rabada. It was a bit of a top order collapse for Delhi in that Mumbai game. Your thoughts, Ajit, why you've gone with the team that you have? 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, Delhi's clear problem is their batting. I mean, to leave guys like Shami and Rabada out is very, very difficult from any squad. So, no, Matthews adds a bit more batting. I think the bowling's not been an issue at all in this tournament. So, that's well looked after. Nadeem, again, it all depends on conditions. But in place of Tare, I think Bhavne might be better suited. He bats slower down. Might not need, I hope, and I actually implore Rahul Dravid to send Chris Morris higher up the order once they are into the innings, not number 3 or anything, but he's got to make use of him. I mean, in the Mumbai game, when you're chasing 140 odd, he comes into bat at number 8. I mean, he's a much better player than that. And maybe they should give him that responsibility because he's in good form.
Okay, thank you very much, Sanjay Bangar, Ajit Agarkar. So the news has come to you. Rahul Dravid implored to see reason, try and change a few things. As far as Gambhir goes, just keep it going. Should be a fascinating early kickoff on Friday. Second game on Friday features Sunrisers Hyderabad and Kings 11 Punjab. It is the first game in Mohali in this year's IPL. Both teams deprived of some match action for a while. Punjab have had 5 days off as per the schedule. Sunrisers have had to wait frustratingly at Chinnaswamy and not had a game. Let's get Sanjay Bangar and Ajit Agarkar's thoughts very quickly on these two teams that also need to string some wins together. Match day match point number 1, gentlemen, focuses on Hyderabad's extraordinary away form, and we almost have quietly not even noticed that they are yet to win away from the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium. They've lost to Mumbai, Kolkata and Pune. They've also had a washout at Bangalore. Just look at some numbers. Their batting and bowling should be focused on. What's the big deal? 45 almost the average at home with the bat, 27 away. Strike rate affected as well. Not too many batsmen scoring big runs. Maybe let's just take this much first and go to Sanjay Bangar. You're a man who knows how to talk to teams when they have to, as a batting coach. What can be told to this Hyderabad team who rely heavily on their top two? Away from home, what do you attribute the striking number contrast to, Sanjay? 45 seconds.
What is happening is that they've definitely changed their plans as for the approaching in the first 6 overs is concerned. If you look at the figures, they're probably second last from the bottom in terms of scoring rate in the first 6 overs. So maybe they need to free up a bit. Shikhar Dhawan could take that onus by giving himself that chance. Otherwise, he plays at a strike rate of 110, 120, which needs to progress as the inning progresses as well. It's all right for the first 10 or 15 balls, but as he's playing more balls, he needs to push on a bit. And also, somebody like a David Warner, probably the weight of the responsibility might have
weighed him down a little.
Yeah, weighed him down, but I think he needs to free up and play his normal game.
Would you suggest a Narayan type dose for something like this? Try and push someone up to break things a little?
Well, they have the personnel. Somebody like a Deepak Huda, he could be promoted if at all they get a decent start in the first 6 overs.
Yeah, don't know if it'll happen, but who will be the team that will take up the successful Narayan tactic? Let's look at the bowling numbers, and I'll bring Ajit Agarkar on this. Heavily reliant on an Indian bowling contingent, Ajit, of course, pace bowling. There's not been much of Mustafizur Rahman this season. 15 wickets away from home, an average of 33, an economy of almost, over 8.5. It's not quite the bowling force that it was last year in spite of the form that Bhuvneshwar has shown. Ashish Nehra has been rested. Is there a formula that they could apply as they now travel to Mohali? 45 seconds for you.
Yeah, I mean, they've missed a couple of key guys. Mustafizur was a consistent feature last year, and we know what he can do. I can't believe they can't find a place for him in the 11. And Ben Cutting and Enriques are not half as good as Mustafizur is in T20 cricket. So that automatically reduces the impact. But Ashish Nehra has missed the last few games. 3 or 4 games now. Okay, one of them was rained off. You've also got to remember they got caught out a couple of times with the dew in Mumbai, especially when they were defending. It's always hard to bowl with a wet ball. I don't think there's too much wrong. I think Rashid Khan's been really good for them. Bhuvi's been very, very good for them. Look, they're still third on the table. So, there's not too much wrong. But they would ideally want to win a couple away. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of shifting and there's a lot of musical chairs being played on that points table depending on how results go over this long double-header weekend. Let's move to our next match day match point. We're talking about Punjab and Hashim Amla at the top. This is a Punjab team that we don't speak too much other than Miller Maxwell over the years, maybe Sean Marsh and the Indian bowlers. Hashim Amla has been probably their best player. Let's just look at some numbers for Hashim Amla before I throw open the discussion on how big he's been for Punjab. An average of 38.41 in all T20s in the last 2 or 3 years, and this year it's just plummeted to 6. It's boomed up to 60, strike rate of 145, and he gets the boundary away quite often. Sanjay, just Hashim Amla. Question marks over whether he'd be the T20 answer for Punjab when he was bought midway last season. He certainly seems to be the answer for them at the top now.
Well, I can definitely with certainty tell you that when I was making the team in 2014, first up, when his name was not on the players list, we made some inquiries to his agent as to why he is not making himself available, and the message that we got was he was not too keen on playing T20 cricket in that particular time, but after that he's made himself available. Unfortunately, we didn't really have the vacancy to get him, but after that when the opportunity arose for us, Sean Marsh got indisposed because of an injury. We opted for Hashim Amla because of his tremendous consistency, and we required solidity at the top of the order.
Whatever you told him last season seems to have worked.
No, I mean, even last season he played 6 odd games for us, and in fact a game against Hyderabad he scored a phenomenal 96 and handled somebody like a Mustafizur really well. He toyed with them, and he got a fabulous 96. So he's a quality player, and it clearly shows that a player of his class, when he sets his goals on certain area or certain format, he would definitely excel at it.
Well, I like that you brought that up. Let's talk a little more about Hashim Amla. First, just quickly some more numbers on how extraordinary the average has been in all T20s in 2017 for him. We're looking at batsmen who've scored a significant number of runs, at least 350 of them. And other than Michael Klinger, who's had a great big bash, Suresh Raina features there. Hashim Amla is on top and by some, 60 at an average, 145 the strike rate. Ajit, in this last week, we've spoken a lot of batsmen or teams having batsmen who haven't had the technique or to defend or at least not been able to counter, just some testing conditions. Hashim Amla almost sets the example for the rest of the league to follow. 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he would have both those games in Mumbai and Kolkata.
Yeah.
He would have been the ideal guy to have at the top. What's striking there is this strike rate for someone who's supposed to be solid and technically correct. Just scores so freely, over 140 strike rate with that kind of solidity at the top is such a bonus to have. You can't find any weakness in his batting. I mean, that's why he scores as many runs as he does in international cricket. That's you don't have to talk too much about what sort of things he does. He plays both sides of the wicket, which makes a bowler's job that much harder. Plays pace and spin equally well. But that strike rate, keep coming back to that. That strike rate is phenomenal for someone who's supposed to be a test player.
Yeah.
Scores just as well in all formats.
Yeah, beautiful player to watch. Hashim Amla should be fun when he comes into action in the second game on Friday against Sunrisers. Let's move to the playing 11s now as we ask Ajit Agarkar and Sanjay Bangar to get into the squads in this big weekend where results are so important. And I'm going to ask Sanjay Bangar to do something he's done a million times before, pick the Punjab 11 and see who would fit into his team. Some changes I can see. I think Punjab fans would be dying to see an overseas fast bowler. You put Matt Henry there, Sanjay, and you've also gone for a wrist spinning option in either Pardeep Sahu or Rahul Tewatia. You've gone for Gurkirat Singh Mann. So you'll have to take some time to take me through that team and why you feel that's the best fit against the Sunrisers. 45 seconds to you.
See, like midway through the tournament last year around, we hardly had any contributions from the overseas batters. The highest score was around total runs aggregate was 150 from Sean Marsh in 7 innings. But this year, fortunately for Kings 11, the overseas batsmen have really taken control and they're delivering. Their bowling looks a bit fragile and sort of one track and that's where they require some variety. They're still languishing at the lower end of the table when wicket taking is concerned. They've only taken 33 wickets in the tournament so far. So they require some wrist spin in the middle overs, and because they're playing in Mohali, which has a fairly large side boundaries, they would like to have a bowler who can test the opposition with some short stuff, and that's why I put Matt Henry in the team.
Alright, well, good luck to Punjab. Hopefully Virender Sehwag will see the need for bowlers and see if he plays them differently now that they go to their original home at Mohali. Let's see what Ajit Agarkar's done to the Hyderabad team. Again, we've spoken of it earlier on the show on how the overseas players, interesting balance that they've had to go for with Rashid Khan's success. There's been no place for Mustafizur Rahman in that team. Ajit, Yuvraj Singh, assuming he's fit and fine, goes straight back into the team. He was missed a couple of games back. Bipul Sharma had come in, and of course Ashish Nehra finds a place back. Just your thoughts on that team and why you think it's the strongest. Off you go.
Well, I mean, the batting has actually been the bigger problem than the bowling. We spoke about their bowling numbers away from home, but batting depends so heavily on Warner. Sanjay said in one of the other things that Shikhar Dhawan needs to score and score freely. I think that's been, he almost seems to be scoring his runs. I think he needs to bat like Shikhar Dhawan can, and I don't think he's scoring quick enough, which puts pressure on the other guys. And Huda and Yuvraj started quite well in the tournament, needs to keep that form up, because you can't rely on your top two to get you through the tournament, especially in such a tight tournament, games coming thick and fast. There are some tired bodies out there and minds, so you need that batting unit to click. I think Ashish Nehra slots straight back in. He's been one of the reliable bowlers. The bowling's not a big issue for me. The batting is.
Okay, Ajit, Sanjay, thank you very much. I'm not going to ask for a prediction. I'm going to keep that curiosity until we move to our 7:30 p.m. show, which of course you should catch live on the day. So on Friday 7:30, make sure you watch Ajit and Sanjay on our live show on the site as well as on our Facebook page. And we'll have toss, team news, build up, and predictions, more educated predictions from Ajit and Sanjay. If you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, make sure you like or subscribe to our page and channel respectively out there. It should be a big double header. It starts off on Friday, and we hope to have your company through it on ESPN Cricinfo.